All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jarek. I'm the CEO of Archon Studio, and welcome to my stream. And first of all the best in 2023. The last live was, I think, was before Christmas, right? So, yeah. Okay, so I've got a presentation ready as always. I do have quite a lot to show you today. I see some questions, so I can actually knock them out of the park straight away. Hi, Derek. Hi, everybody. One of the questions is about the new project managers. Yes, we have two new project managers, Michał and Kamil, and within the next couple of weeks we're gonna be introducing them to you guys, and probably for the next campaign they're gonna be running next campaign, so you're gonna be able to you will have a chance to meet them. No calendar, but I have releases, so I will show you what exactly is coming next. And we plan to make at least one release every quarter. Not plan, it will happen at least every quarter. The team is currently working on wave 6, so yeah. Right. I have a presentation for that one as well. I will show you exactly what is new, what is kind of from previous projects, from one project basically, but I have everything in presentation. So we're gonna go through that one as well. Hello from Greece, hello from Poland. Right. Thank you. Okay, let's go. Let me show you a few things, because we got quite a lot. We got about almost 30 pages presentation, and I want a little bit talk about the OGL towards the end of the live chat. Yeah, that's the one. Let me just clear. Right, so let's start with update on encounters. Last time I showed you this. If you remember, that one was the tree. We finally got it, like plastic injection finished. One of the guys from I'm not quite sure who was it, either Jacek or Kacper. They put LED light into it, so this is how it looks basically. I do have a sprue, so I'll be showing you the sprue as well. Maybe I can switch the camera right now and we'll show you a few sprues. One of them is this, so that's the 3 sprue. Yeah, so we can assemble it with the branches or without to, or leaves or whatever. Sorry, leaves, as you want it. And one more sprue. As we go into towards the end of anything we have to manufacture for the encounters, this is face sprue from Tarask model. If you remember correctly, this is one of the models you're gonna get it for free with every single pledge. We have 3 other tools which are currently in production, so I will have entire model next week. But I just want to show you this one, the scale of it. So that's just a tail, right? So not here. Starting from there is just the tail. It's part of the body. So just to show you the scale, that's 32mm model, our vampire, or space vampire, how we call it, to scale. So yeah, it's going to be massive, and I think kind of stupid massive, but yeah. And this is gonna be I'm gonna have a full pictures next week, and obviously as we discussed previously, the shipping should start towards the end of this month. The latest beginning of the next month, if we're gonna have to wait for some boxes or some tooling fixes or other things, but it's coming. So let me just go back to presentation, and the next slide I wanted to show you, this is our warehouse currently. So all of that you see in a warehouse here and there and there, this is all, and also on the other side of the warehouse, this is all encounters ready to be shipped. So what is just waiting for is this one and the baby dragon, which is also being cut right now. So that's it, guys. And we made it again. We made it much faster than we anticipated, or planned basically. Just quickly, can't wait for the update for the Home 3 board game. Yes, the update is coming next week. I've got a lot of materials to show you, which I'm gonna go through now. The approved material, so final figures, miniatures. The update is coming next week. Also next week follow our blog. There will be blog entry about the heroes from stretch goals, so from design team. And all of that also will be also included in the update, in the Kickstarter update. So if you don't, the blog, usually we post blogs on Thursdays, Wednesdays or Thursdays, one of those 2 days, depending on if we got the content ready or not. Updates will be available on Friday on the Kickstarter page. So we will show you all the progress, so where we are in terms of playtesting, where we are in terms of miniatures, everything else, because I know 3D content is fully now approved, so that is good progress. But I'm going to show you on the slides that one. Yes, in a second I will show you. Right. Can we avoid the whole... Yes, sure. I'm going to only say a few things about it. What I personally think and where this is going, and kind of, everybody's got, 2 cents about it. I think, but it is elephant in the room, and I think we should just kind of discuss, because our next projects will be 5e market, but it's got nothing to do with OGL really, so it's good to talk about that. Right. Let me clear this. That is a good question. Not this year. We're expanding our team for playtesting and also for managing all the tournaments. Not this year, only because we are so busy with everything around it, and especially with heroes, making sure the heroes are the perfect game, and we have to spend time on playtesting. So anything around it, like the team needs to go somewhere, we're really gonna be cutting this year, and it's only the sales or other team will be going on trade shows, and maybe one person from the demo team just to show the new games or our heroes playtest. They show the demos, but nothing more. Okay. It's not. It's not. It might looks like, but it's not. It's really not. Yeah. Okay, but thank you. Let's go. So I need to talk about quickly about the February releases. This is what is coming this month, next month, sorry, to your stores. Starting with the City Bits bundle. So this is everything which was in the Dungeon and Lasers Woodhaven Kickstarter. So all the additional content and the stretch goals, that's going to be packed in new boxes and available in the retail. Then obviously we have a Battleground Master of the Universe Battleground, which is the new faction. This is also coming next month. Then we have some more rooms, so this time city rooms, streets. Then we're looking at also Rampart, so that's Kazumi set, which finally, there's a funny thing about the Kazumi. There was a tiny mistake on a tooling, and we couldn't release it to retail because we needed to fix that tiny mistake. And the thing was, we couldn't find the files. So finally, after one of the meetings, we had a chat, and Michał, who was doing previously all the toolings calculations, he found the files. So we managed to actually fix it, and it's gonna be available in retail now. And also sewers with additional model in a box, that is also going to be available in the retail. But that's not all, right? That's not all. Here we go, tank. So that's from the Rampart set. That tank will be also, available. This is one of the first models, such complex models we've made long time ago. It was for the one of the Rampart Kickstarter terrains, and it holds like 120 something pieces. But it's actually very good. It's very nicely done. I had lots of engineering stories about that one, because that gave us a lot of trouble, and we needed to put a new procedures in place in order to make sure that the elements of the when we cut the models, they not collide, and so on. Maybe one day I will spend some time explaining what exactly we did, but that model, it stays in my head only because I remember a specific moment when I said, okay, we need to redo the process and we have to find a solution to the issues we have, and we did. And I did. After just a couple of weeks, I found a new process and new solution. Now, what else is coming? It's coming the Battleground Tournament Pack. So this is something new. This is what we've been talking for some time now. This will be paid, but it will be available on our online store, but it will be discounted. This means if you're going to be running tournament, you have to contact us for a discount code, and then we can give you that code, and you're gonna be able to purchase this content for the tournament. Initially, we wanted to do like, you know, provide packs for tournaments and things like that for free. That doesn't work like that in the real world. So we need to find other solution, and that was the solution taken from inspiration from other companies. And we have decided to actually create this tournament pack. What is inside? You will find out. Definitely some miniatures and some nice, fresh content. So stay tuned for that. And then the last one, but not least, well, actually, last one is the roofs. So Dungeon Lasers roof will be also available in the retail starting on 23rd of February. So a huge content. We skip actually we skip 2 months releases, so nothing in December, nothing in January, only because of we just, you know, after New Year we needed to speed up and make everything, arrange everything for the releases. So let me just check a few comments quickly. So yes, this will be on the next update. How exactly they're going to look, I believe they stitched. I really believe they stitched, but I forgot to ask Michał about that one. What was the last? Michał is dealing with this project, and what was the last idea? I know he came to me asking question about how they're gonna be cut, because we needed to make sure you can align several of them in a row. So yes, I can confirm only that you will be able to place next to another one, and just to create some larger spaces and terrain. But we also talk about the stitching, so I'm not quite sure whether the stitching is there or it's not. Maybe if somebody from my team is here, just poke Michał Pawlaczek about it, and he can confirm that one in the comments before the stream ends. Okay. Only good quality. Okay. Yes, the NPC box was released previously. This won't be available through any Kickstarters whatsoever. Okay. I'm gonna go for the next couple of slides and come back then to questions when they yeah. Oh, that's a good question actually. If Heroes of Might and Magic, if things needs rebalancing at release, would you release update cards as the patch? I don't know. This is even real. Most of the games, I don't see that one often in the games, to be honest. And then because then you have several versions of the cards flying around on the market. In most of the cases, if you want to balance the game, you have to balance the game in the way that doesn't affect that much, and you don't have to reprint quite a lot of content. One of the things which we did in other games is basically provide points in PDF format. So like in Battlegrounds, when you play the game, if we see something which is out of balance, you need the rebalancing, which is basically going to increase the points. I'm not quite sure what's the idea here. That's a good question to my team, and I will follow up on that one. Yeah. Shimon is answering questions. Oh, by the way, about the next trade show, I'm going to be from the 1st to the 5th of February at the Nuremberg Toys Fair. So if you're attending, please visit us, come around, and we can have a chat. We're not going to be selling anything. This is just basically for us trade shows, just to show our products, as well as the services we provide to other others, external. Yes, in a second. Okay, let's move on because that's the most important bit. Okay, let's go. Oh, by the way, Fields of Eternia. Fields of Eternia, it's been packed into containers. This is the containers numbers. You can screenshot that one. On the bottom, you will find the link. You can go and track it. That was extremely difficult to get it before Chinese New Year, so we are extremely happy about it, right? So you really needed to pull a launcher to get that done before a Chinese New Year. Otherwise, we would have like delay for another 2 months, which was completely out of the question. So we managed to get everything what is needed for Kickstarter packed on into the containers, and it's coming. It's coming. So I'm showing you now tracking numbers. This will be available also on Mondays or Tuesdays update on the Fields of Eternia game fan page, and you'll be able to track by yourself. And they're going to swim to Gdańsk, which is our center of containers, receivers, and also all the for the tax purposes and everything else. So yeah, that's it. It's coming. It's coming. Once it's in our warehouse, we're not gonna be delayed. In the minute they arrive, the minute they're gonna be packed and sent to you. I call this end of this journey, but it was quite a long. This project is about 6 months delay or 7 months delay now. Not very happy about it. Maybe a little bit longer, but not very happy about it. And yeah, this stuff is happening. So right, that is about the Fields of Eternia, the Fields of Eternia, because I don't have anything else to tell you about that. A new add-on is actually being done. So it's a PDF content. I think it's a printed content. Sorry, it's a printed content. It won't hold any miniatures, but it's a printed content expansion to the game, which also going to be available. Now, this game needs to go to retail later, and we're looking at the second quarter of 2023 when this game will be available in the retail. So we're pushing for another 2 months release, just to make sure you're going to get it and you can play with it. And only core game. And then additionally on top of that, later on, it's going to be new first retail expansion available. Okay, just to make sure we know where we are on the page. So here we have small update on Heroes. So as I mentioned at the beginning, because some people probably joined now, Heroes update will be next week on a Kickstarter page. The content you see here is fully approved, and the content you see we also going to be seeing at the Kickstarter page. Next week also we are going to publish a blog post on our page. The information from that post will be available on a Kickstarter, and it's going to be focusing on Heroes from expansions. So the design team is in a design team hands now. Let me just check here quickly. Any questions? Yep. So I just mentioned about the extensions. So looking at the second quarter of 2023. Yeah, you're gonna be able to get it through retail now. Okay. That is correct. So Tarask is actually, I'm just repeating anyway, Tarask is actually being now manufactured. I showed that one sprue. This is the first sprue which came on the press. We need 4 sprues basically, so this is the first one. 3 more sprues are gonna be available next week, so I should have amazing picture for you to show. No, it doesn't. However, there is a trade show in France which will count. So, oh, I didn't say that. Yeah, okay, so on 23rd, there's a trade show. Jakub, remind me, where was it? There's a trade show in the in France, and we're not gonna be there, but our stand will be there with our product, with our French distributor, and we're gonna have some special stuff on our page as well. So it will be a new mini, which only going to be available through our page and also at the trade show. So stay tuned. So it's something to be excited for. Cannes, yeah, Cannes, exactly. So yeah, yeah, we have that ready. Haven't teased it. I should tease it this. Okay, I'm gonna tease you next time. Give me 2 weeks, and if next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be teasing new model. Which gonna be only trade show model for Model Battleground. Looks cocky. I mean, looks cool, but yeah. Right. No playtests. We won't even have the full game on display because this is just purely sales trade show. So only the box itself. Maybe we will take the prototype if you wanna come around just to see the prototype. We're gonna be able to show you, but it's not gonna be on the full display as it is with the normal products. Okay. The reason why is just we don't want to. The prototype is not the final product. Prototype usually don't have or doesn't hold the quality of the final product. And we're gonna have some top executives coming to our stand. We have several meetings there from several different distributors, and not only that. And we don't want to give them the wrong impression about the game not being to the very, very nice standards. Okay. So let's move on with the update. So this is another bunch of miniatures. I mentioned this one previously. We have all of the miniatures for the game approved now. So it means that the content you see here is the final content, and we're gonna be ready to send them straight away to manufacturers, just to make sure we start, doing work on it right now. Okay, so any info on playtest in Poland? Yes, I've signed about 7 or 8 contracts just today and yesterday, so they're happening. The group's being created. Michał is doing a very, very good job. Michał Tukan, he's our new project manager. He's doing an extremely good job with getting playtest organized, and we're getting that ball running slowly. And also all the prototypes are prepared, so we're just basically ready to roll them. And the next update will include all the details where you can actually go and see and whom to contact in terms of actually to play the game. Okay, what else we have? We have also this. More Inferno. Let me clear that. You can take screenshots. Right. Yeah, you have to. So we are starting playtesting the brand new add-on. This is for the Fields of Eternia. We had this on Kickstarter. So we had this one in the past when if you backed our Kickstarter, and if you come back to our Kickstarter, you had something extra like we call this returning backer reward, something like that. And we will have it on this Kickstarter as well. Now this is something we want to reintroduce. I don't understand really. In other words, I don't remember the reasons why we canceled this idea. It was doing well, and there was no creating any issues, so I don't know what was the reason behind actually not doing that anymore. Maybe something to do with the pledge manager back then we struggled to actually get everything in the black the pledge manager to organize. But nowadays the pledge managers evolve and grow to the level that we could actually use it. Maybe that was the reasons. I don't really remember. I mean, most of the cases if we don't do something which we did previously, there was a reason why not. How to sign into playtest for just stay a couple weeks, just wait a couple weeks on the Kickstarter. There will be more information about it, how to do it and where to do it, and with the contact details to every single group which is gonna be holding playtests. So I'll tell you something. Initially we had some idea about doing that across the board, like every single element, some of the elements like especially for mushrooms. The idea was that we will make mushrooms in a clear plastic, and then we will incorporate those LED lights. But there was a problem. We received the samples of the LED lights, and that one which is actually over there, this is one of the samples we have received. And we needed to cancel this idea because of one, we cannot ship batteries. So we will provide those LEDs with no batteries. That's one. Second thing was that we needed to design a special, like a base, larger base, in order to actually get it LED light to work. And the third one was the costs. And we thought, I mean, it's not free. I thought when I did the Excel that there was not feasibility on actually doing that. It was too expensive, too expensive. And I'm not quite sure whether anyone from the group of Terrain would be, happy to pay that premium for just the this design. And well, not only that premium just for design itself, but it will require special base and special size, larger base sizes, which mean that it will cost much more in terms of making it, manufacturing, and so on, so on, so on. So I cancelled that idea. However, you can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. You can use it that way if you want. Right, so we also have some graphics which were approved. Oh, this is one more dragon, crystal one. I like that one. I can't actually wait to see it, how it's going to look in the final form when we turn it into plastic. Okay. Those things goes to our guys who designed the game. I think they will be able to answer those questions. Maybe, yeah, at some point definitely. Maybe we can do some design update on like that one now, like live design update, when you can ask all the designers the questions about the game and so on, the playtesting. And I would like my team, once we start receiving data from the playtesting group, to create some Excel spreadsheet, which then allows them to present the data, what playtest found it, or what direction we go in, and so on and so on. I think this is something which is kind of important to show that we're really going to do quite a lot, and we're doing quite a lot in that game. Okay. Okay. Right. One more art to show you. I have two more arts to show you. These are also approved. And moving on, we have additional content. So I believe we finished all the tiles. Maybe, yeah, almost all the tiles we finished. So that's the final design. And also we have Eternia Castle city design. So that is also final, which we can now incorporate into the card board. Yeah, the city board. But that will be part of the proper update on the Kickstarter, when you're going to be seeing just exactly how it looks and so on and so on. Okay. Yeah. I like it too. It's new level of miniatures. I've got several spurs here. The guy's got the miniatures over there. It's really good how the team is actually expanding in terms of just that knowledge of miniatures and so on and so on. I'm really happy about it. Okay, that will be all in terms of Heroes and Heroes 3. Just drop the questions. The team is on the chat, so the team will be able to answer these questions for you. I will answer the business questions if you have any. What I can say right now, we are on schedule. Our schedule. This means we are currently starting playtesting in January, as we wanted to start playtesting. 3D content meant to be approved by the end of March. We will have the content approved by end of January, so now, which is good, because then you can send the stuff to a manufacturer. Making models and miniatures, this is the longest time in manufacturing because of tooling and everything else. And the playtesting starts, the new faction it's been worked on, and yeah, so at the moment I'm very happy how everything progress. Obviously more detailed progress will be available for you on a Kickstarter once we collect all the data and see how much extra work we have to do in terms of languages and so on and so on. Okay, but stay tuned. At the moment it's cool. At the moment I'm happy with it. So we have to talk about this World of Deus Lair, in general Deus Lair. So Deus Lair is our next campaign. This is only miniatures campaign. I will just say straight away, this is 100% original content. Nothing in this content is D&D related, nothing at all. And any other similarities are just similarities. It's a coincidence to have some similarities with D&D content. Official D&D content, obviously, but not joking, and really talking about this one. This is pure original content, right? So when we're gonna be talking about the OGL, I have to mention this again and stress that one again, that this is our own invention, so, and our own IP, and so on. So Krzyszek, our new lead artist, which work on with us. He started in January. Great concept artist. Create this one for us, and this is something I need to show you. where we are against the scale of the miniatures, a new scale which we called 32mm, and when we are with the current scale of miniatures. So as you can see, we put down all the potential minis you're going to see in that one, and this is the scale of the miniatures from previous campaigns, right? So we have a humans here and we have a humans here, so it's roughly, this is the size of the old models versus new models. Okay, I don't think it's a huge deal, because this model itself is 29mm to the eye level. So it was advertised on 28mm scale, but in fact it's 29. And we have variety of sizes. We have some of the miniatures which are taller, some of them which are shorter than that 29. So I choose this specific one because it will be the best representation, I think, in terms of average miniatures. Okay. Now we will have also larger miniatures. This golem, I'm going to be showing this golem. Maybe some new giants. Maybe, you never know. And that's the roughly size of the troll miniatures you will find in that one. And then even bigger miniatures, obviously. So you know already Tarask, which I mentioned. So the Tarask scale is unchanged, and the dragons. So these miniatures will scale a little bit better to dragons, and a little bit better to anything larger than 28mm model. Okay, so that's the bunch of new stuff. Now, as you can see, that's the miniatures to scale. So what we have here the DNL, would have a miniature, and then 4 new miniatures for the new project, right? Yeah. This is what I agree on that one. They were a little bit too small. The thing about the scale, it's really, I think we've made a little bit mistake there with not going to 32, just normal 30, not heroic. 32 heroic is slightly even larger, bigger and bulkier. But you know, we're trying to now make sure that everything else moving ahead is actually quite to the level. Yeah, so that's Golem, one of the new miniatures, and all of those miniatures you can see are brand new designs, and this is the roughly size of the miniatures to the Woodhaven one. Okay. We have lots of questions which I want to answer. I've got quite a lot of material to show you, several screenshots from the campaign, something new which you haven't seen it, and we're gonna be talking about it. I've seen that question already. Yeah, I think let me just take note to make sure we have it. What it is, one very important thing, this is all original content, and we won't be able to call it that way, or we're not gonna be use anything which is D&D, basically, right? Okay, so we say round about first quarter, second quarter. We still got a lot to do. We want to run some surveys just to find out from you what exactly you want from previous campaigns to be available as well on the Kickstarter. And we have tons to design, tons to do. So initially, I wanted round about end of March. We will see how it goes. Maybe you're gonna be able to launch it end of the March. At the moment, we have a pre-page. You can go and sign up to the pre-page, or you can go to landing page, which is deuslair.com, and then just sign up for the newsletter and sign up basically for the campaign. Okay, so let's go through the questions. So will previous miniatures also be part of this new campaign, or are the miniatures from this campaign all new or new designs? Then previous creatures will be in the bestiary? Will the campaign settings include layouts for dungeons and lasers, floors and tiles? And I believe we have also here one more question later, that one. Will there be a few tiers, categories for pledges, miniatures, or will it be more all or nothing? So this is a initial concept I pulled up. You've probably seen this one for the first time, and definitely you've seen this one for the first time. And it will take a little bit of time to explain the idea, what we want to achieve. So we have the basic pledge. The basic pledge is 89 euro. In that basic pledge, you will get roughly 150 miniatures. So it means you only going to get what is new and what is bestiary. Now in this campaign, we're gonna be using those hashtags. What I mean by hashtag is basically we're gonna be every single product you're going to see on the campaign, you will be clearly marked up for anyone who back our previous projects and you want just only everything which is new and nothing else, right? So here as you can see, we're looking at that level of minis, so 150 minis. The retail price will be estimated to the current price, so 2022, not 2023, 178 euro. You're going to save 89 euros, so almost 50% save on that one. And there's a new, and every single model from that pack will be in the bestiary, and that includes the core, so 99 miniatures from the core, and then 2 add-ons from add-on 1 or add-on 2. Okay. Then we have second pledge, which is 199, and here you will save 157, looking at 235 miniatures, brand new miniatures, all new and all in bestiary. And here it goes to, and this is basically any other pledge after that one is the pledge for the people who never back our projects, or they did back our projects but not all of them, and they just want some miniatures, so additional miniatures. So for 269 you will get 316 miniatures roughly, depending on what you're going to select, which I'm going to explain a little bit in a second. And then it's all new, the bestiary, Archon bestseller. This is the one of them which, and rapid shipping, this is the one which gonna be available from previous campaign and only from encounters. So in the encounters campaigns we had a set of miniatures and also stretch goals which unlock more miniatures. So both pack will be separate to choose from. Okay, want to be clear about that one. And this new one for 369 for 406 miniatures, plus minus probably plus about 10-15 depending how many of those things we're gonna have additionally. It is only for new all-in bestiary, Archon rapid, and so on. So if you never back anything and you want 400 something miniatures, you can go for that one. Okay, so we create those deals for everybody who wants to try it, who wants everything new, plus the previous campaign, which is encounters, and who wants everything new, everything new, right? Okay, now this campaign, this is a good question about the including VAT. No, it does not include VAT. We're gonna have to include VAT in a pledge manager. We do have something to cover this one, but I'm gonna be speaking about this one later, so some kind of easy reward or some nice reward for that one. Okay, yeah, so it's a huge saving, it's a huge number of miniatures. This is only working in process, though, don't get me wrong. This is only working so that might change. We will see how many more miniatures. Now I'm talking here about just 150 miniatures. We have to bear in mind some of the miniatures are dragons, large models, right? We're also thinking about adding some super stretch goals, but this time real super stretch goals. So this means if we reach, like, I don't know, 250,000, or if you reach 500,000, some large element like this golem you have seen, it will be unlocked, or a dragon. We have already concept for several dragons, and so on. So real value of that one is much more than 178. You can see it here, because obviously this is only based about, yeah, what if we're just gonna hit just the normal numbers without large miniatures. As you might know, a huge miniatures like Tarask in normal retail is about $80 to $90. We sell it for 40 or whatever, yeah, or you get for free. So this is what it is. The deal will be much better once we get more and more unlocks. This is something I want to show you because it's coming back and I think it needs clearing about what's the plan. So what's the plan for the future? So Dungeon Lasers 5 is about miniatures. We want to separate miniatures from terrain. This is what you've been asking for. You've been asking for from every single campaign that you just want a miniatures and focus on miniatures and want to stretch goals in miniatures, or I want my terrain and only stretch goals in terrain because that's what I'm using. I've got enough miniatures. So what we decide to do, that Dungeon Lasers 5 is the miniatures Kickstarter. Dungeon Lasers 6, which we're looking at third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, depending on how much content we're going to be able to release. Yeah, in 2023. Okay, so the one principle which I'm designing this one, like I'm designing engineering of it. Okay, so I need to design engineering of it, make sure that it will work with everything previously sold or provided to you. So there are some tiny limitations, there are some cut corners we have to take in order to actually this system to work, but we have several ideas, and I'm happy to share you with those ideas. So yeah, that's how the idea number one looks. So this is only raw, there's no detail on it, obviously, because this is just pure engineering, make sure the walls not colliding, making sure that everything will be able to assemble. Now the team already did some work, Maciej did some already work on it, so some of his proposals about the walls, how we could incorporate this idea into that to make sure you have a curved walls. And as you might recognize by the theme, this is basically the caves. Now we have idea for 3 caves theme. One of them I'm extremely excited. I'm not going to be talking about them, I'm not going to be spoiled. But the one which we definitely going to do it is just like normal plain caves. But 2 other, they amazing, and they something you haven't seen it, and something you definitely going to enjoy playing on. Okay, and this is like, as I mentioned, once we have this idea, once we put everything on there, once we design how the walls will work, then we think about additional content required to actually look nice, aesthetically nice. So in this situation, as you can see, we want to design a little bit of small end tiles just to make sure it doesn't end with a sharp corner, and with additional bits and bobs it's gonna look much better on the table. Yes, you have. I showed all the content, so just wait for the video to be uploaded, or just next week we're gonna have update. Yeah, so yeah, curved walls, that's the idea. The design will change slightly. The whole idea, it must work with the previous DNL concept, and yeah, yes, this is something which is coming back like a boomerang now, and we need to address that. I had discussion with my team, I had discussion with Shimon, which is also pushing this idea to get some lasers in there, and we might be focusing on a future campaign just on the lasers one, fantasy lasers one. So yeah, so some fantasy, some sci-fi. I think we are thinking more about a Spelljammer around that, so something around that, because there's no real content for Spelljammer at the moment. I know it's a brand new stuff. I know WizKids did something under official license, but we have some ideas in mind. Yeah, so okay, that will be answering this question. So yeah, just to remind you, this is not part of the OSLE. Okay, this is not part of the OSLE. This will be for the next campaign. We are already working intensively on the next campaign in terms of engineering. Right. Will the minis be mixed, or they will consist of the smaller factions, groups, gnomes, nobles, goblins, orcs, elves, halflings, elves? This is a very important question, and now I want to also answer this. So, what's the idea? And this is only idea, and this is what we discussing at the moment. Everything is work in progress, but I need to share with you because this question came up. Okay, so we have 6 add-ons. Everything is divided. So we have a core. Core is 99 or 100 miniatures, or 100 miniatures. And then we have add-ons, add-on 1 to 6. Under number 1 is quantity of 40 miniatures, and is off sea and deserts. This is basically, in this add-on you will find the content which is purely designed for your coast. So your coastal, so like a pirates, like some different kind of beasts and things like that, which basically you will find there. So if you're going to play your campaign around coast, this is the best, this is the miniatures you can use for. Add-on 2 is fully, the content will be about the best skin. So this is all the kind of animalish humanoidish monsters and heroes as well. So that pack will include 45 different miniatures. I will answer this one in a second. Then we have a Knights of the Round. This is something very interesting, which I am personally excited for. 45 miniatures, soldiers, knights, fantasy knights, but not in a way you would expect them to be, just not like normal Warhammer Fantasy or any other fantasy knights. So stay tuned for that one. I'm excited for them. Then we have something new, 45 miniatures with 45 add-on, which is used for the deserts. We call this at the moment Desert Storm or Araby. This is something you will, all the mummies, all the scorpions and everything else, which is basically using that piece of terrain as well. As you might know, we have already large terrain, which is for the giants, meant to be set up in the on the desert land. So this will be just expansion to that. And then add-on 5 and add-on 6, this is the previous models and only previous models which kind of gonna be at the moment available. So 32 miniatures from the Legacy, from the Encounters 4. We call this Legacy and Rapid Shipping, so you're gonna be, you can get them straight away post Kickstarter. I think within the first month of Kickstarter, and then we're gonna be shipping them. Same goes for the Legacy, Rapid Shipping, Encounters, Stretch Goals, miniatures, but only miniatures, 29. Here you have some large miniatures, small miniatures. So everything which was unlocked there is part of that. Okay. I think this makes clear. Yeah, and two other questions which we have about the miniatures. No, the previous miniatures we won't be making 32mm, and the question, it's a good question, between the Frostgrave through 28mm or more Reaper Heroic 28. I think we closer to Reaper miniatures in terms of this. Although Reaper miniatures are actually much bigger than 28 Heroic, okay? So they than 32. But I think more like that one. So I showed that picture previously. This is the new scale we're gonna be going for the miniatures. This is the previous scale for the miniatures. So there's a couple millimeter difference between the miniatures itself. Again, very important question as well, because one of the questions we had previously was whether the 400 miniatures going to be unique miniatures. Yes, they're going to be fully unique miniatures. Not only they're going to be unique miniatures, we're also going to be making them multi-assemble. So we call them multi-posable, but they're really multi-assemble. So I will give you some examples based on the concepts, just to give you an idea what exactly you may expect. Okay. Okay, so here we have the Royal Guard. So if you want new heroes to be a Royal Guard, not even royal, like a paladin or maybe a soldier, you will get a miniature with several different assembly options. So that miniature, you can assemble different weapons, you can assemble different mimic question. Sorry, man. So yeah, we're gonna have a Mimic 3 Dragon. I don't know, it sounds cool. I know it's being scoped now. So once we have any work in progress, I will be able to show you this. But the project was assigned to one of the sculptors. I've seen it today. So yeah, Mimic 3 Dragon. How does it sound? Sounds about fantasy, right? No, I think so. Going back to this one, so you will be able to actually multi-pose your miniatures the way you want. Not really multi-pose, but multi-assemble your miniatures the one you want. If you want to, I don't know, we're not going to be the making push fit. So if you don't want to use glue, you can use something else, tack, plastic tack or something like that. But in general, you will be able to replace those things if you want, or assemble the way you want. So even if you don't use all that content, you will have plenty of other content to use for anything else you want, right? Showing you more. So that's, for instance, if you want to play your own, I don't know, troll. So if you think your troll should have different weapon than normally is available, different head, this is what you can do. Same goes for this monster. I'm not quite sure, is it? So you will be able to also assemble in the way you want. And then obviously that content will, include several miniatures, so you can basically assemble in different way. And in terms of much more like wood elves, like proper wood elves, wood armor, it will also include several elements. It must happen. I know. I know, Derek. It must happen. Yeah, definitely one of them. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Can you do the Pathfinder 2nd edition version as well? We don't know yet. I need to check whether the Pathfinder's got any OGL. I really haven't looked into it. I know they want to move to ORG, so-called ORG, so Open Gaming License. If so, we're also going to be advertising not only for 5e, but also for Open Gaming License. There is a solution to this. And there is one more proposal from me and something which we want to discuss with you later, and it should be on the survey, just to ask you. I think we should provide tables with the rules, but just rules, nothing else, to 5e, and then empty table to anything you want. So if you play other systems, or if you're going to be playing Orc or ORC, you as the game master will be able to fill it in, okay, for your own system with pencil, for instance, or pen, doesn't matter, and put some notes or anything else. So we will give you a miniature. We will give you concept for this miniature inside our universe. We'll give you rules for 5e, and we will give you additional empty space or the blank space or even tables for any other system or even for the org system, the way you can actually design those things by yourself. Why? There's a couple of reasons. One thing is to have ready-to-go campaign and ready-to-go monsters. The other one thing is to make it your own, okay? So to change something. Usually it will happen when you design the campaign or when you design the session that you want to use some monster, but it's still going to be doing it. And you're going to be doing the paper. We're going to give you a book. In that book, you can actually write it up. What you think, stats should be for your game, for your system, and so on, so on, so on. And this is kind of universal bestiary. So it's not bonded just to 5e, and it won't be bonded just to ORC, org. And I think this is proper approach. And I believe more companies will do exactly the same. Because I personally believe in order to org exist, it need to make so-called, you need to make a proper transition. And you cannot make proper transition with just saying, okay, this is the cutoff and we're going to be focusing on now on something else. No, it won't work. Basically won't work. Now it's hype and tomorrow will die. It will need to do a proper transition. Same like Pathfinder did transition from Pathfinder 1st edition to 2nd edition with removal of quite of, OGL content. Same way org needs to be introduced. So slowly, gradually, transition from one to the second one. And then having the bestiary, which allows you to play a different system, will never make your book obsolete, neither the miniatures, if you know what I mean. So if one day you decide, okay, I'm not going to be playing 5e, I need to play other system, that empty space, a table for that, will allow you to put down or write up any rules for any system you want. Okay, I think that makes sense. So other question was, is this instead of heroes villains? Yes, this is instead of heroes villains. So everything that was there, we decided to take it to level up. Yes, the bestiary and everything will be available in PDF as well. We need to make available in PDF as well. You have mentioned that GL5 was going back to module train. Yes, because originally heroes and villains not meant to be called dungeon lasers, but we decided to call dungeon lasers as a part of dungeon lasers universe, but the expansion to it, okay, using the previous dungeon lasers, which is encounters. So incorporating encounters into Deus Lair effectively became dungeon lasers. That's the the follow-up logic. Dungeon Laser 6 will be just about the miniature, about the terrain, and it's gonna be towards available towards the end of the year. Yeah, just one thing, maybe some small pieces of terrain will be available. will be available from this campaign. I think Alex, which is currently working on the creative side of the project, put down some ideas about some tiny elements which needed to be there in order to those miniatures we're going to provide to work. I don't know, maybe cannon, maybe something like that, maybe some other elements. You'll find some small scatter pieces of terrain which are not like huge large bits, but some elements which are required for the miniatures. Yeah. I think so as well. Universal Bestiaria. Yeah. So you see, the thing is, the content, people holding the content, and if you invested heavily in some game, and I've got that one in the wargaming, and you know, I'm all about the wargaming. In this company, it's only me wargaming. Other people actually focus on other things, and this is exactly the same in the wargaming. Getting people to invest time to assemble paint miniatures is extremely difficult for them to actually change system. Why? Because when you think you just spend 3 months of painting your miniatures and about 3 of your salaries to get those miniatures even to buy, and then you have to think about the same again. No, I would rather stay with the system I hate and carry on. So making something for non-universal, it's nonsense, right? So same goes for the yeah. Okay. How many of the 400 are duplicates? None. None of the miniatures are duplicate. You will be able to assemble different varieties, different possibilities, and different ways of, you know, assembling like arms and heads. So this will give you a range of 400 unique miniatures. I'm assuming there are physical rewards. Any possibility tier for STL for the miniatures? No. It's not that we are against the STL content whatsoever. We are making tools. We are selling physical product. A couple of things. One, if you print 400 miniatures, you're going to pay much more money just for the resin content itself that we're going to be offering for that price. That's, you know, it's nonsense to actually. That doesn't make sense to print all those miniatures. You're gonna spend more because we're gonna give you about 6 kilograms or 7 kilograms of plastic in the miniatures form. So yeah, spruce, 7 kilograms of spruce. If you were going to now buy resin for your printer, 3D printer of 7 kilograms to print all the content you get there, how much you're gonna pay? Much more than $400. Much more. So realistically speaking, there's no point of even offering that one because I don't see the reason why. The other side of that is we make products which then needs to go to retail to sales. And if I want to sell something to stores or distributors, if they're going to see that product in 3D form, no, they're gonna be saying no. So unfortunately, on a site on retail here, brick and mortar stores, the existence of brick and mortar stores keep our hobby kind of afloat, and same like Games Workshop existence keep wargaming afloat. So I think I would support brick and mortar stores than some 3D content which, you know, doesn't add any value to the hobby itself, because it's focused on primary on a single customer instead of a spectrum of the new customers that could potentially, you know, buy stuff. So yeah. Will there be previous Kickstarter items as legacy? Yeah. I've mentioned this one. There is a survey. There is a survey which I want to have plans to actually do it, and hope the guy's gonna be doing it at some point. The survey is important to let us know what exactly you would like to additionally see from previous content to be available, because you're missing some stuff and you would like to have it as well, like, you know, and then based on that one we will make a call. At the moment, I'm happy to show you this table. This table shows you the new stuff or all stuff which gonna be available as add-ons from previous campaigns. So this is the name of, sorry, it's in Polish. Something's in Polish. Right. So this is the content which is gonna be available with all the hashtags. So we're gonna have quite a lot of stuff which is rapid shipping and available. Some new stuff which is 3-pack. This is something you ask for. So the 3-pack will be the content will be released soon. So it's quite a lot of sprues as well. And some stuff which is like a bestiarian campaign book. You're gonna be able to buy them just separately without buying into any of those thingies, which is the what's the name, the pledges. So yes, bestiary book and a campaign book will be available additionally as well. We have some stretch goals from previous campaign, like Dungeon Lasers 5, which is also encounters, and Force of Natures from Dungeon Lasers 3. This is one of the miniatures, large miniatures set, which we haven't released yet. Yeah, so that will be also available on that campaign. The list is there. What else? Will there be 5e rules provided? I never played 5e and don't own any rule set for it. Obviously, we cannot provide 5e rules per se. We can only provide 5e compatible rules. So something which is basically, yeah. We can only provide rules which cannot be copyrighted by any means. So Wizard of the Coast, D&D are able to copyright or basically everything which is their content, and although it's been open gaming license, the rules itself cannot be copyrighted. So what we can only do is basically provide our own 100% content, so original content, with the 5e compatibility in terms of rules. So tables, which says to you the stats for the monsters and so on, so on, so on, but no references to D&D itself. So we won't be able to say this miniature is coming from Ravenloft, right? This is no go, or from any other universe, and so on. Okay, so but it's coming from Deus Lair, which is our own universe. Okay, but if you want to, as I mentioned, I want to make this bestiary totally universal to make sure it never happen obsolete, right? Cave, as I mentioned previously, just a few seconds ago, that's gonna be for the next campaign. We have big plans for caves, much bigger plans for the miniatures, right? Much bigger plans. Well, the dragons and Taras will be included as the promotional picture hints at. They will be the same. Yes, as I mentioned, there's a table to show you exactly the size of the Taras. At the moment, the dragons are not part of that campaign, so they're not available. However, as I mentioned, there will be survey, and if you're going to tell me in a survey that yeah, we want this, then let's do it. We will add it in as an add-on for at the Kickstarter page on the Deus Lair. It's quite a long question. My suggestion to create role 8 settings book with no rules, just description and setting suggestions. This is what we're going to do with addition of 5e and addition of org or addition of blank space for your table. We will see which is the best one to choose from. And you're totally right about the org being org, sword being sword, and things like that. There's not much content. There is quite a lot of D&D official content which is in the OGL. In fact, we have only used one by accident during one of the campaigns, which is the Dungeon Lasers 3. We had a Jelly the Jello, and Jelly the Jello is basically Jello cube, and that was I was freaking out. I was totally freaking out after campaign when I just found out, oh Jesus, we have that model there. We really shouldn't have it, although we haven't called it Jelly the Jello, but it was very, very Jelly the Jello. It was very jelly. Jelly-like. So yeah, Mimic ones actually not coming from D&D. They were before D&D, kind of. It's coming from somewhere else. So they're not very, very specific to D&D itself. But yeah, that one model I was actually freaking out. We didn't offer that one in the future campaigns, I believe, so it was just removed from the content. Exactly, as long, and he mentioned here, and as long as you use any specific words or phrases for D&D, that's what it is. That's what it is. There is extremely nice video which we were mentioned. At least our campaign was shown from one of the lawyers, which never does things in terms of hobby or nerdy stuff. But he mentioned this one very straight, and his opinion about that one is the same as mine. That the rules cannot be copyrighted, and anything rules I can use, but I cannot use anything which is basically the content itself, which is the IP content itself, like wordings of monsters, names of the monsters, even I think kind of a visual aspect of it I shouldn't be able to use. Any chances for sci-fi fantasy blended theme? This is for the Spelljammer. This is what I mentioned just a few minutes ago. I want to do Spelljammer as well at some point, and it might be not definitely the previous next campaign, the campaign after. So we're looking at maybe 2024. Will the new D&L campaign be 400 new minis, including residues of the all other games, but not including the creature pack or townfalls, which would easy pay for 400 down, 250 new minis? Yeah, so realistically speaking, I think the new miniatures content is around about something about 300. So brand new content is about 300 minis. The additional minis coming from other system, which is the actually 320 should be, and the other miniatures which is coming from the other content, which is the previous campaign, which is 60 miniatures from previous campaign. Okay, so it's a huge content. It's massive content of the brand new stuff. About those, any idea on the pledge sets? Yes, I've got that one for you, which I already showed. And that was just the concept, right? So that's the table, that's the concept of what we think about it and what we think we should basically be charging. Will there be giants in those trolls even? I think yes, I think trolls, yes. I'm not quite sure about giants. As I mentioned, if we're going to be breaking a super stretch goals, which I repeating myself again, it's gonna be physical stretch goal, not like heroes. Every single large stretch goal, a super stretch goal, will include something large, a large miniature, which it valued quite a lot in the retail. So yeah, we have some ideas for that one. As you know, previous campaign had a giant Tress. And we have a giants in the previous game, including trolls as well. In the DNL2, DNL3, we have a giant and troll. So why not now? I think yes, definitely yes. Dougie said the Hasbro, they are either Republicans or Democrats. I don't know. I don't play politics. There's no politics in the business, right? I'll be in politics in the business. Basis for minis. Yeah, okay, so we addressed this issue already. You totally right about the miniatures basis for Dungeon Lasers 3, which were too much detail on it and too much scenic, so it was quite difficult to place the models on it. We've changed that with Dungeon Lasers Encounters, and the bases are much more flat. I have them here. Happy to show you. I'm happy to explain as well. Let me just switch camera. Have a look. That's the basis. You have enough detail to paint it nicely, but they much more flat. They are much more flat. So it'll be much more easy, even those grassy ones, when you have quite a lot of grass. Those are quite easy to paint. Okay? Quite easy, actually quite easy model, assemble models on. Yeah. Right. Okay, let's switch to my ugly face. Where is the button? This one? Ah. Okay. Sorry, let's go back to presentation. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that is about the basis, and we learn from previous campaign and from this campaign. And then from Encounters campaign onwards, it's gonna be that way. More about this land. Do you have any information on the mats? Oh yeah, I answered this question about the mats. It will be an update. It will be an update. I think we need to get all the information from Michał to show you the final ones, because I believe they've been already shipped to us. They should be shipped to us because we want to ship them within 2 weeks. Okay. As I mentioned, it's towards this end of this year. Come on, crazy. End of the month or beginning of February. Okay, so if you watch beginning of the video, I showed quite a lot of stuff there. The question might have been asked and answered. Okay. Yes, this is what we want to do in terms of survey. So we need to know exactly what your expectations are and what you would like to see as add-ons from previous campaigns. Okay. Will the GF9 reprint the Add-ons miniatures? I shouldn't copy, I shouldn't comment, and should include that one here, to be honest. I cannot confirm, I cannot deny. I won't deny, I won't confirm. I think yes. I mean, at the end of the day, the game is not in the market. I know something about it, but I think yes. That's what I think. I think yes. Yeah, sorry for that. I was thinking about something else. Okay, OGL and the 5e content. According to the leaked document, Wizard takes 25% of revenue. In your experience, is that unusual procedure when working with big IPs? 25% cut is huge, and especially if they're not going to say this is net sell or basically it is not. It needs to be net sell in general. But that was posted on 10th. You know now if you're following that actually this changed this one. However, I really don't mind paying. Really, I don't mind. I've been asking Wizard of the Coast for the last 2 years for the license for miniatures for terrain, right? To make official D&D terrain for 2 years. We had several meetings, we have several discussions, we have several back and forth numbers pushing through email and things like that. And suddenly the conversation stops. I don't know why. Maybe because of this new OGL was going to be released and they said hold your horses with any type of licensing whatsoever. But I don't really mind to pay to Wizard of the Coast if we're going to be making anything which is official. Or even if it's not official, if they structure the way that they're going to be kind of also advertising it in some way, and so on, so on, so on. 25% revenue is a crazy. This is number out of the hat. I think it's anyone who runs the business knows exactly that 25% of revenue's got nothing to do with net sales. Revenue has got nothing to do with profit you're going to make. So whoever came up with that number never run business and never understand how the business works, right? So that number is bollocks. I swear. Sorry, I didn't meant to say that. That number is not real. It's basically out of the hat, and I think it's shouldn't be there. But again, I don't mind to pay. Wizard of the Coast, if you listen to me, we've been having a lot of discussions. Why we don't have official license? I'm happy to pay you royalties. I'm happy to pay you upfront money. I'm happy to pay you minimum guarantees you ask for. What's going on? Okay, that's one. And yeah, but by now they actually canceled this idea. They cancel idea of actually charging. I think if we was there and was saying 10% of revenue, not even 5% revenue, I would say that's fine. That's fine. Even from lower brackets, nobody would say anything. But for that 5% of revenue, I would say, okay, fine. Please advertise our content. Make a page which we're saying, okay, this is the official OGL content which gonna be available this month, including all the links to everybody who actually going to use OGL. And you promote this and you do everything else, and then I'm happy to pay you 5% from ground zero, from even zero, right? From every single dollar. I don't mind, but we wanted something back, return as a creators, and for something we pay for. And then this situation wasn't fully licensed, right? Okay, you cannot use D&D logos, you cannot use anything else, and still you have to pay revenues. That's not right, no? It's one-sided. It's too much one-sided. Okay. So in a project like Deus Lair, where only part of the project is the part of the product is 5 year related, how much of the revenue counts towards the 750 if that threshold? So the thing is, none of the stuff in Deus Lair is under OGL. None. OGL does not say nothing about the rules really. They might mention, but it's irrelevant because the rules are available and rules cannot be trademarked whatsoever. And I'm staying with that one, and I will stay with this one forever. We can use 5e and call it 5e compatible, but that's about it. That's about it. It's like, buying a bolt in a store and you want to use that bolt for your car, right? It's compatible. You buy the bolt basically, right? It's the same story here. So there won't be no content, and even if there was a content, I believe that will be a huge question mark because we don't know what they classify exactly about 5e content. Because we have like a bestiary, so that bestiary use 5e rules, but then we have also miniatures for that bestiary. So those miniatures also included in that set. So if that is included under that new rules and regulations, what about the other content which is also sold within the same scope of 5e? I mean, it would just create many questions, more questions than I think they just realized later. It would just create more questions than it's actually worth it to follow up. So that was the reason why they canceled everything. Do you have a plan B in case of making 5e book? Yes, so the plan B was basically, and it is still, and that's what we're gonna do, is the making stuff which is purely designed for 5e with the rules, 5e compatible, and then probably make it org or make it just basically fill in for by yourself. This question is repeating, so this question I'm gonna be seeing the answer. I think the whole idea about the open gaming license org is basically making content for Pathfinder as well as a part of it. I don't know whether we can use logos for Pathfinder. I think they fully trademark, but we will see how they're going to approach that one, how the Paizo will be approaching this one. I did send an email. John sent me an email back saying that at this stage they don't have nothing solid, nothing written, and he just basically sent me a link to the announcement. That's about it. So I'm just waiting for more stuff to come. Is there a choice for only new models? Yeah. So yeah, there will be. We try to show you exactly what is new, what is old by hashtag. So they're going to be banners, and you will be fully informed about what is exactly new, what you can get it, and so on as a new pack. So this OGL stuff. As I mentioned, because talks meant to be about OGL, and during that live chat I was mentioning several times this OGL, and I think I clear all of the things. That's example of what we're thinking about with no table. So the content, when you have just some information about the creatures, monsters, about the universe, about the world itself, and things like that. What is missing here are tables. So if you flick that page, you will find tables for and you know, other pictures and example of equipment and everything else for those characters and for those encounters. Okay. As I mentioned before, we plan to do, it needs to be 100% original content. So no dungeons. The content you will see here, it's not the content you will get from, like, you know, somebody working on the similar content to D&D official. So everything is new, fresh. You haven't seen it before. You shouldn't, at least, because it's our own creation. So I mentioned also here 5e rules plus org plus blank section. So that's the whole idea which we have currently for that one. I think it will work. Yeah, I think it will work, and this is what we're going to be aiming for, and that allows us to actually, you know, open up for explain that to the customers, to you guys, to backers, that this product is not only designated and force you to actually play with 5e. You can use it for any game now and in the future. So if D&D, for some reason, people move to other systems because of, I don't know, Wizard of the Coast issues or whatever, this will allow you to actually carry on with the same content you already purchased without, you know, throwing everything to the bin only because you're just not playing 5e anymore. Okay, if you don't have any more questions, or if you have any questions, please drop it and I'll try to answer them. If you won't have any more questions, I will be finishing because my throat is just gone now, and it's gonna be more and more difficult for me to talk, although it's been just 1 hour. Maybe I'm getting old. I am getting old, but yes, we will do much larger artwork. I have quite a lot I haven't showed you yet. Yeah, you haven't seen yet. I'm just keeping this one for the next updates, for the next video streams. We have a large, massive artworks already being done. for the cover and everything else, and also monsters. All the monsters, they have full art designed for each of them. So and being done. Our team expanded. We have more 2D artists. We're still looking for more 2D artists. We have more 3D artists, and we're also still looking for more 3D artists to join our team for that one. Yeah, exactly. I'm on the same page. This is what we plan to do. The bestiary is more here. So that bit here is more bestiary stuff. This is bestiary stuff. This is basically showing you like a couple of thingies, pages or whatever. Yeah, my thingy just broke. So let me do like this. Okay. I know nothing about DNL. I'm new here. Should I consider backing this campaign? If you want to save yourself, if you want to get into miniatures, and if you want to get quite good deal in miniatures and everything for D&D or for any RPG, definitely yes. And it is on when Q1 those would arrive. The campaign itself, the plan was for March, first quarter, so roughly March. But I think we're gonna push for April. I don't know. We will see how much content is done. We just speed it up in terms of content. Quite a lot have been done just in a couple of weeks, and more stuff is coming. Yeah. Yeah, you see here. So you can go to deuslair.com page. On there you will be able to find the links to pre-page. The pre-page link to link to pre-page, keys to the pre-page. Also, you can add your email address if you want. Yeah. You have, yes, I do have models to show. I do. If you give me a few seconds, I will have to leave my hold on a second. That's the sprue. That's the demo sprue for those layer miniatures. So you haven't seen this yet. I was going to show you next week, I think, or maybe something like that. But you're gonna no, there's a surprise. I won't spoil it. Maybe I did already spoil this one. Let me just grab miniatures. 1 sec. I'm back. You miss me? Okay. That's a one. Yeah. The second one. That's 50mm base, right? So as you can see, that's the proper size for Freeman. There's also small goblins on top of that. We have backstory for that one. And that's the third one. It's really amazing because those miniatures that used to be resin, and we threw them in plastic, and they're really good. Extremely good. So there's more to come in terms of miniatures in the next couple of weeks. They are a little bit. These are heroes, so they are chunky, large, but they're bosses basically. So this is the miniature you're going to fight with, like an ultimate boss or one of the bosses basically. Yeah, and they need to be large. So I'll show you miniatures. I wasn't prepared very well for that one. I think I was going to keep them for a little bit longer myself. I like them. Okay, so waiting for Hero 3. That's good. Yeah, I actually did, because I was holding my miniatures. Okay. I don't have a Hodak painted. I do have those miniatures. Maybe next live stream I will show you those miniatures. I don't have it painted yet. They're being painted for the box, and we should have them next week, literally. So for the packaging, as you might know, every single packaging is like, let's reverse that this way, like that. So we have physical miniatures painted and photographed and showed on the packaging. So what I'm gonna have next week. Finally enough to do all the deal kits. Yeah, something we're gonna be thinking about Rampart in the future as well, because Rampart is basically terrain for wargaming and 40k at the moment. But we got more stuff to come in terms of war games in the future as well. A couple games we are currently working on 3. Yeah. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna be wrapping up. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're gonna have more questions, just drop them in Discord for the next hammer. I plan to do next hammer in 2 weeks time. Next week no 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. So maybe my team will do something. Maybe we can do something just focus on heroes and give update on those things. Tarask? I've got 1 sprue for Tarask. 1 out of 4. The rest of the sprues are next week. But that's the tail. That's the piece of tail. And compared to 32mm model, let's have a look on our Space Vampire. Okay, to be honest, this is silly. The size of this model is completely silly, but okay. It's gonna be something which level 20 character is gonna have to chop it. But I should have that model next week. It's gonna be one of the largest. It is gonna be the largest models we ever make for anybody, even for external customers. Because up until now, that was the largest model. That was the largest model. Size the size of my balloon head. Okay, so this is tail. And just to show you, it's gonna be much longer. It's gonna be about, well, we start from the beginning, about 2 inches longer than this. So let's say, so it's gonna be huge. Right. It's for a wargame called it's from Parabellum. We make miniatures models for Parabellum as well. Parabellum they do Conquest wargame. So for the last couple of years we've been doing the stuff for them. Thank you. Right. Yeah, Parabellum wargame. They do actually slightly bigger scale than 28. They do 50 something scale. I've got plenty. I can't show you because I've plenty stuff from Parabellum because we make tools for them as well. But this one has been shown and they okayed that for us to say that one. This is basically made by us. It's a large big boy, but it's very expensive as well. But reality of wargame and large miniatures basically. Yeah, we have extremely important meeting on trade show, and after that meeting we will know our path in terms of the wargame. Definitely, what I can say, we work on 3 games. One of the game is Titanomachy. I mentioned this one previously. Titanomachy. If you Google it, you will find out what is that. It's basically, but it's gonna be a sci-fi game, and it would include large mechs. So large mechs. Something we currently working on is basically the concept arts for it, and so on, so on. But it's go. It's basically green light and go, and we got even www.titanomachy.com purchased, so that will be something. It's a Titanomachy is from Greek. It's basically a war of gods. So imagine mechs like that and fighting. So that's one. The other concept is fantasy. Rank and file, maybe rank and file. This is the other concept, which cannot really say about it because that's going to be licensed product, and more about this one will be in the future. And the third one is the sci-fi, which we have it for quite a long time in fridge freezer. I'm thinking about well, we'll see after February whether we're gonna be defrosting this and starting it again and just delivering that working. So yeah, quite a lot of it's happening. I mean, at this stage, with our capacity, with tools manufacturing, sculptors and everything else, this is just getting to the level when we just have to start popping out products like in a big time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you as well. Thank you for joining me. So you'll be here every day on the update, every second, till you address the flavor text on the hero cardboards in Heroes Map and Magic 3. Okay, we will address it. Well, we'll have a chat with the team about it. I think that was the reason why it was removed, and only pure technical, because of the cutting, the way we need to cut the double side boards, there was no room for that one. So there was options about, we're gonna give you greatly looking cards with the fluff on it, or we give you product which going to work. I would choose product which works. Yeah. Okay. Alright, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. And it's an hour and a half now, so of my boring voice and my boring face. So I see you. I read you next time. The next live, as I mentioned, will be within 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But I will try to get my team next week. Next week to within 2 weeks, just to do maybe live on the rules itself, and maybe get new guys introduced as well on the team. Right. Thank you again, and speak.